Imagine a China in chaos. The year is 1368. For almost a century, the mighty Mongol Empire, under Kublai Khan's descendants, had ruled China with an iron fist. Their Yuan Dynasty, once a symbol of power and prosperity, was crumbling. Natural disasters, plagues, and rampant inflation had ravaged the land. The Chinese people, once proud and independent, were burdened by heavy taxes and oppressive rule. It was a time of suffering, a time of despair, but from the ashes of this turmoil a new China would rise, a dynasty forged in the fires of rebellion and shaped by the vision of one extraordinary man. This was the dawn of the Ming Dynasty, a period of over 270 years that would witness China's resurgence as a global power, a beacon of culture, and a center of innovation. The Ming Dynasty, often hailed as the last great dynasty founded by the Han Chinese, left an indelible mark on the course of Chinese history. It was an era of dramatic contrasts, of imperial grandeur and devastating wars, of artistic brilliance and social unrest, of maritime exploration and inward-looking policies. The Ming emperors, from the ruthless founder Zhu Yuanzhang to the ambitious Yongle Emperor, shaped the destiny of their nation, leaving behind a legacy of architectural wonders, cultural achievements, and a complex tapestry of triumphs and failures. This is the story of the Ming Dynasty, a story of resilience, ambition, and the enduring spirit of China. The story of the Ming Dynasty begins with its founder, Zhu Yuanzhang. Born into a destitute peasant family, Zhu Yuanzhang's early life was marked by hardship. Orphaned young, he joined a Buddhist monastery to survive. As the Yuan dynasty crumbled, rebellions erupted across China. Zhu joined the Red Turbans, rising quickly with his leadership. His forces defeated rivals and drove the Mongols out of China. In 1368, Zhu declared himself emperor, establishing the Ming dynasty. The Ming Dynasty, with its name meaning brilliant, was founded on the ruins of the Yuan dynasty and the aspirations of a nation yearning for peace and prosperity. Zhu Yuanzhang, now the Hongwu Emperor, faced the daunting task of rebuilding a shattered empire and healing the wounds of decades of turmoil. He was acutely aware of the mandate of heaven, the ancient Chinese belief that emperors derived their right to rule from divine approval, and that this mandate could be revoked if they failed to govern justly and effectively. Determined to secure his dynasty's legitimacy and prevent a repeat of the Yuan dynasty's fate, Hongwu embarked on a series of ambitious reforms. Hongwu's reign was characterized by a blend of pragmatism and ruthlessness. He understood the importance of a strong central government and a loyal bureaucracy. He centralized power, eliminating potential rivals and consolidating his authority. He implemented land reforms, redistributing land confiscated from wealthy landowners and Mongol collaborators to impoverished peasants. This not only appeased the peasantry, but also boosted agricultural production, a cornerstone of the Ming economy. He also invested heavily in infrastructure projects, repairing canals, roads, and irrigation systems that had fallen into disrepair under the Yuan. These measures, combined with his efforts to revive Confucianism and traditional Chinese values, aimed to restore stability, rebuild trust in the government, and usher in an era of peace and prosperity under the Ming dynasty. A Hongwu, tempered by hardship, ruled China with unwavering resolve. He knew a lasting dynasty required wise governance and people's support. Establishing a centralized bureaucracy, he selected officials through rigorous civil service exams. Hongwu revitalized the rural economy, distributing seeds and livestock to farmers. He encouraged new crops like cotton and sweet potatoes to improve food security. Reviving Confucianism, he promoted values of filial piety and social harmony. Yet his reign had a dark side, marked by paranoia and autocratic rule. Establishing a network of spies, he purged disloyal officials to consolidate power. Section 2. The Shadow of Rebellion, a Ruler's Paranoia. As Hongwu's reign progressed, his fear of rebellion grew into paranoia. He saw enemies everywhere, in the whispers of courtiers, the ambitions of generals. This paranoia fueled a series of purges that decimated the ranks of the officialdom. No one, not even his closest advisors, was safe from suspicion. One of the most infamous episodes was the case of the empty plot, where a disgruntled official allegedly buried a wooden tablet with curses against the emperor. Hongwu used it as a pretext to launch a massive purge, executing thousands. Hongwu's paranoia extended beyond the palace walls. He abolished noble titles and confiscated their landholdings. These measures created an atmosphere of suspicion and stifled social mobility. Hongwu laid the groundwork for the Ming Dynasty's prosperity, but his later years were marred by tyranny and bloodshed. The Rise of Nanjing. Hongwu established Nanjing as the Ming Dynasty's capital, a strategic and symbolic choice. Situated on the Yangtze River, it commanded vital waterways and trade routes. Hongwu transformed Nanjing into a bustling metropolis with a magnificent palace complex. Massive city walls were built to protect the capital and project strength. Nanjing flourished as a center of commerce, culture, and learning. Under Hongwu, Nanjing epitomized the Ming Dynasty's early achievements. Securing the realm, the Great Wall's expansion. Nanjing symbolized Ming power, but Hongwu knew true security lay in the north. The Great Wall became central to his defensive strategy. He fortified it to prevent nomadic incursions. Thousands toiled, enduring harsh conditions. The wall symbolized Ming's strength and resolve. It provided security, allowing communities to thrive. Section 5. A new era of prosperity, agriculture and trade. Hongwu's reign marked a new era of economic prosperity. Agriculture, the backbone of the economy, received particular attention. A nationwide land survey was implemented to boost productivity. This allowed for effective tax assessment and land redistribution. New agricultural techniques and crops were encouraged. Trade also played an important role in the empire's prosperity. The Grand Canal was revived to facilitate transportation. Coastal cities and ports became hubs of maritime trade. Section 1. The Hongwu Emperor, a Vision of Grandeur. The year is 1402. The Ming Dynasty, still in its relative infancy, witnesses a seismic shift in power. Hongwu, the formidable founder, had passed away, leaving the throne to his grandson Zhu Yuanzhang, known as the Hongwu Emperor. However, Yuanzhang's reign, marked by attempts to curb the power of his uncles, proved short-lived. His uncle, Zhu Di, the Prince of Yan, a skilled military strategist and ambitious leader, challenged his nephew's claim to the throne, igniting a fierce three-year civil war. Emerging victorious from this bloody conflict, Zhu Di seized the throne, taking the name Hongwu, meaning perpetual happiness. However, his path to power, paved with the blood of his own kin, cast a shadow over the early years of his reign. To consolidate his authority and legitimize his claim, Hongwu embarked on a campaign to erase all records of Yuanzhang's reign, eliminating potential rivals and rewriting history to portray himself as the rightful heir. Despite the tumultuous beginning, Hongwu's reign would become synonymous with a period of unprecedented expansion, cultural brilliance, and maritime exploration that would propel the Ming dynasty to new heights of power and prestige. Ambitious and visionary, Hongwu sought to not only secure the dynasty's borders, but also to expand its influence far beyond China's traditional boundaries. He envisioned a China at the center of the world, a beacon of civilization commanding the respect and admiration of distant lands. The Forbidden City, an enduring symbol of power, Emperor Hongwu moved the Ming capital from Nanjing to Beijing, his power base in the north. This strategic move aimed to defend the empire's northern frontier and project power. The new capital required a grand imperial palace reflecting Ming authority. Thus began the construction of the Forbidden City, an architectural marvel. Hundreds of thousands of laborers and artisans toiled for over a decade. They transformed vast land into a sprawling palace complex, enclosed by walls and a moat. The Forbidden City, with its intricate layout and opulent halls, was more than just a residence. It was a microcosm of the universe. Designed according to cosmology and feng shui principles, its name underscored its exclusivity and the emperor's absolute authority. The Ming Renaissance. Yongl's reign was a golden age for Chinese arts and culture, often referred to as the Ming Renaissance. Yongle, a patron of the arts, supported scholars, artists, writers and musicians. He fostered a vibrant cultural scene, attracting the brightest minds to his court. One of his most ambitious projects was the compilation of the Yongle Encyclopedia. Thousands of scribes meticulously copied and edited texts on a vast range of subjects. The resulting encyclopedia was a testament to the intellectual breadth and cultural achievements of the Ming Dynasty. Section 4. Beyond the Wall: Military Campaigns and Tributary States. Yongle invested in culture and the arts, but never neglected military strength. A powerful military was essential for defending the empire's borders and projecting power. Yongle led campaigns, reinforcing his authority as the Son of Heaven. His significant campaigns against the Mongols secured the northern frontier. These expeditions pushed the borders further north and neutralized the Mongol threat. Yongle sought to establish Ming dominance in East Asia, commanding respect and tribute. Envoys were dispatched to Korea, Japan, and Vietnam, demanding recognition and tribute. This system enhanced Ming prestige and secured valuable trade routes. Section 1. Porcelain: a legacy in blue and white. The Ming Dynasty wasn't just about emperors and armies, it was a period of extraordinary artistic brilliance. Nowhere is this more evident than in the exquisite porcelain produced during this era. Ming porcelain, with its elegant forms, vibrant glazes, and intricate designs, became a symbol of Chinese craftsmanship and a coveted commodity across the globe. One of the most iconic innovations of the Ming period was the development of blue and white porcelain. Using cobalt imported from Persia, Ming artisans perfected a technique for applying cobalt pigment under the glaze, resulting in a striking blue decoration that captivated the eye. The blue and white palette became synonymous with Ming porcelain, adorning a wide range of objects, from delicate teacups to massive vases. These pieces often featured intricate designs inspired by nature, mythology, and literature, showcasing the artistic skill and imagination of Ming craftsmen. The imperial kilns at Jingdezhen, fueled by the emperor's patronage and demand, became the epicenter of porcelain production. Here, skilled artisans experimented with new techniques, glazes, and designs, pushing the boundaries of ceramic art. The fame of Ming porcelain spread far beyond China's borders, reaching the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. These exquisite objects, transported along the maritime silk routes, became highly sought-after treasures, gracing the tables of rulers and the collections of connoisseurs worldwide. The Ming Dynasty witnessed a literary flowering, with novels, plays, and poetry reflecting the dynamism and changing social landscape of the era. Vernacular literature, written in the language spoken by the people, gained prominence, offering new perspectives and reaching a wider audience. One of the most celebrated works of Ming literature is Water Margin, a sprawling epic that tells the story of 108 outlaws who rebel against a corrupt government. This classic novel, attributed to Shi Naian, captured the imagination of readers with its themes of brotherhood, loyalty, and social justice. Another masterpiece of Ming fiction is Journey to the West, a fantastical adventure story based on the pilgrimage of the Buddhist monk Zhu Yuanzhang to India in search of sacred scriptures. This novel, attributed to Wu Cheng'en, captivated readers with its colorful characters, mythical creatures, and humorous episodes. Ming drama also flourished, with playwrights exploring a wide range of themes, from historical events and romantic comedies to social satire and philosophical reflections. Performances, often held in open-air theaters, attracted diverse audiences, providing entertainment and a forum for social commentary. Poetry, a cornerstone of Chinese literary tradition, continued to thrive during the Ming Dynasty. Poets experimented with new forms and styles, drawing inspiration from nature, love, and the human condition. Their works, collected in anthologies and circulated widely, reflected the intellectual and emotional currents of the era. The Ming Dynasty witnessed a significant expansion of printing, which had a profound impact on Chinese society. The development of movable type printing, building on earlier innovations, made it possible to produce books more efficiently and at a lower cost, leading to a wider dissemination of knowledge and ideas. Printing workshops sprang up in major cities, producing a wide range of materials, from Confucian classics and historical texts to medical treatises, agricultural manuals, and popular novels. The increased availability of books fueled a rise in literacy, particularly among the merchant class and urban dwellers. The spread of literacy had far-reaching consequences for Chinese society. It facilitated commerce as merchants could keep better records and communicate more effectively. It also contributed to the development of a more informed and engaged citizenry as people gained access to a wider range of information and perspectives. The Ming government recognized the power of printing and used it to disseminate official pronouncements, legal codes, and educational materials. The widespread distribution of printed materials helped to unify the empire culturally and linguistically, despite its vast size and regional diversity. The printing revolution of the Ming Dynasty not only transformed Chinese society but also had a lasting impact on the world. European visitors to China marveled at the sophistication of Chinese printing techniques, which later influenced the development of printing in the West. The Ming Dynasty, despite its focus on tradition, was not devoid of scientific and technological innovation. Advances were made in astronomy, mathematics, agriculture, and medicine. Astronomy saw accurate observations and refined instruments. Mathematics progressed in algebra, geometry, and trigonometry. Agricultural innovation included new crops and techniques. Medical knowledge advanced with new treatments and pharmacopoeias. The early 15th century witnessed a spectacle unlike any other in maritime history: the voyages of the Chinese treasure fleet under the command of Admiral Zheng He. This ambitious undertaking, initiated by the Hongwu Emperor, aimed to project Chinese power and prestige across the Indian Ocean, establish trade links with distant lands, and bring back exotic goods and tribute to the Ming court. The treasure fleet was not merely a collection of ships, it was a floating city, a testament to the Ming Dynasty's shipbuilding prowess and logistical capabilities. The fleet consisted of hundreds of vessels of various sizes and functions, including colossal treasure ships, some of the largest wooden ships ever built, designed to carry vast quantities of goods, along with warships, supply ships, and water tankers. At the helm of this maritime marvel stood Zheng He, a Muslim eunuch who had risen through the ranks to become one of the most trusted advisors to the Hongwu Emperor. A skilled navigator, diplomat, and military strategist, Zheng He possessed the experience and charisma to lead this unprecedented expedition. The treasure fleet embarked on 7 epic voyages between 1405 and 1433, traversing the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean, reaching as far as the east coast of Africa. The treasure fleet's voyages took them to over 30 countries and city-states, encompassing Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, the Arabian Peninsula, and the east coast of Africa. Zheng He and his crew encountered a kaleidoscope of cultures, languages, and religions, forging diplomatic ties and establishing trade relations with rulers and merchants along the way. In Southeast Asia, the fleet visited the kingdoms of Champa, Java, Malacca, and Siam, exchanging gifts, securing trade agreements, and intervening in local conflicts to maintain stability in the region. Sailing westward across the Bay of Bengal, the fleet reached the Malabar coast of India, a center of spice trade and a hub of cultural exchange. Zheng He established diplomatic ties with the rulers of Calicut and Cochin, facilitating trade in spices, textiles, and precious stones. Further west, the fleet sailed across the Arabian Sea, reaching the ports of Hormuz, Aden, and Mecca, important centers of Islamic trade and pilgrimage. Zheng He's interactions with Muslim rulers and merchants fostered cultural exchange and expanded China's influence in the Islamic world. The fleet's most distant destination was the east coast of Africa, where they visited the Swahili city-states of Mogadishu, Malindi, and Mombasa, exchanging gifts with local rulers and establishing trade links that would last for decades. The treasure fleet's voyages were central to the Ming Dynasty's foreign policy, aiming to establish a tributary system with neighboring and distant lands. Zheng He carried lavish gifts for foreign rulers, demonstrating the Ming Dynasty's wealth and generosity. In return, foreign rulers acknowledged the Ming Emperor as their overlord, paid tribute, and pledged allegiance. This system enhanced the Ming Dynasty's prestige, secured trade routes, and created a buffer zone around its borders. Zheng He's diplomatic skills were crucial in negotiating these relationships, fostering goodwill and trust. Despite Zheng He's successes, the treasure fleet's days were numbered. Following the Hongwu Emperor's death in 1424, the Ming court shifted priorities. Conservative officials opposing the costly voyages gained influence. The new emperor, Hongwu, halted the expeditions to conserve resources and focus on domestic issues. This marked a turning point in Ming policy, ending an era of maritime exploration. The void left by the treasure fleet was eventually filled by European powers, altering the global balance of power. The Ming Dynasty, despite its early brilliance, faced internal pressures. Corruption within its bureaucracy eroded the meritocratic ideals of the civil service examination system. Favoritism and bribery became common, leading to inefficiency and poor governance. Officials neglected infrastructure and local grievances, causing public works to decline and resentment to grow. Emperors became detached from reality, allowing corruption to flourish unchecked. The Ming Dynasty's economy faltered under internal and external pressures. The influx of silver from the Americas led to inflation and instability. Natural disasters caused widespread famine and displaced millions. Economic deterioration and social unrest grew as peasants faced heavy taxes and corrupt officials. Banditry and rebellions challenged Ming authority, draining resources and exacerbating problems. The rise of the Manchus posed a new threat to the Ming dynasty. Led by Nurhaci, the Manchus exploited Ming weaknesses and launched devastating raids. The Ming government, preoccupied with internal issues, struggled to defend against the Manchus. Poorly equipped and led armies faced major defeats, further emboldening the Manchus. The need to defend the northern frontier strained the Ming treasury, fueling social unrest. By the mid-17th century, the Ming dynasty teetered on collapse. Internal rebellions and the Manchu threat weakened its defenses. In 1644, rebel leader Li Zicheng captured Beijing, delivering a fatal blow. The last Ming emperor Chongzhen hanged himself, marking the dynasty's end. The Manchus established the Qing dynasty, facing resistance and consolidating control. The year 1644 marked a turning point in Chinese history. The Ming dynasty fell and the Qing dynasty rose. Despite its flaws, the Ming left a lasting legacy on China. It saw a resurgence of native culture, economic growth, and artistic innovation. The Ming's influence continues to shape China's identity today. The Ming dynasty's influence permeated Chinese society. It reinforced education, meritocracy, and Confucian values, the standardization of Mandarin Chinese unified communication and cultural identity. Ming arts, like blue and white porcelain, remain prized worldwide. Ming literature continues to offer timeless insights into the human condition. The Ming dynasty's impact extended beyond China. Zheng He's voyages left a lasting impression on the Indian Ocean world. The Ming legacy shaped European perceptions of China, fueling trade and cultural exchange. Today, the Forbidden City and Great Wall stand as testaments to Ming ambition. The Ming dynasty's efforts to defend its borders remind us of the challenges faced by empires throughout history. The story of the Ming Dynasty, like that of any dynasty, is a complex tapestry woven from threads of triumph and tragedy, of innovation and stagnation, of ambition and ultimately decline. It's a story that offers valuable lessons for our own time, reminding us that even the most powerful empires are not immune to the forces of history, that innovation and adaptation are essential for survival, and that neglecting the needs of the people can have dire consequences. The Ming Dynasty's rise and fall reminds us that power, no matter how absolute it may seem, is never permanent. It highlights the dangers of complacency, of allowing corruption and inefficiency to take root, and of failing to adapt to changing circumstances. The Ming Dynasty's fate serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most brilliant of civilizations can crumble if they fail to address their internal weaknesses and adapt to the challenges of a changing world. Yet the Ming Dynasty's legacy is not just one of caution, but also of inspiration. It reminds us of the power of human ingenuity, of the enduring appeal of art and culture, and of the importance of connection and exchange between different peoples and cultures. The Ming Dynasty's story is ultimately a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, to our capacity for innovation, and to the enduring legacy of ideas, art, and culture that transcend time and place.